Oh, what's up, guys? Hey, I was looking at taking like, I usually start. Oh yeah, this is Monday. So hey, welcome to our Monday talk about The Last of Us season 2. I'm Brian the Grizzly here. We got Tank Kramer, we got Brandman Brandon down there, and we got the man, the myth, the legend, Anzo, bigger for entertainment. How's it going?
What's up?
Guys?
Everyone doing?
Did everyone cry all their tears out? Did they get all that stuff out from Joel all out the way and just say, all right, we're good. We're gonna survive now. You know, no more of this crap anymore.
I don't know, man. I'm still kind of recovering from that.
Yeah,
Me too.
The Ellie screen
Episode was.
No,
I think this episode was about that. Getting through this, getting past all the stuff. That was the whole point.
Agreed.
it's like, what's next? Like,
I feel like they weren't ready to turn the page, right? So we weren't emotionally ready to turn the page either. So what they gave us is a chance to say goodbye. The actors, you know, us as viewers, you know, everyone a chance to say goodbye to someone that they spent a long time with, you know.
Did you guys notice in the intro at the end with the silhouette is usually Joel and Abby? And in this one, it was just Abby. They just showed the silhouette of her. That was good. I was like, wow.
Wait, was it Abby or Ellie?
Ellie.
Ellie. Sorry, my bad. Ellie, yeah.
But yeah, I did to answer your question. Yeah.
Yeah, that was well done.
You know what the recap did? Just make me hate Abby even more.
Yeah. I don't like her. I don't like her.
But so Abby became a monster. We saw her become a monster in episode 1, right? And we saw what that turned into in episode 2. So now this episode 3 is seeing what Ellie is kind of becoming and how the town is recovering from the aftermath of all of it. I mean, even that first shot when you're focused in on the zombies, and as you pull back, you see all the destruction and the dead bodies, and just it looked like hell. It literally looked like hell, right? I mean, it was hard to watch at some points, but it was almost, for something that is that gory, almost beautiful.
Yeah, they did a really good job of showing the devastation in the town and the aftermath of what happened with those creatures coming in. Yeah, I thought it was good too. Really good.
Yeah. Even like after they showed that, and it was like 3 months later, like they're still building. Like things are still not even better, you know. So it's like it shows you how long term something like this affected them. You know.
Agreed.
Well, I feel like even the scene when you see first is the one lady who seems to be like wiping off Joel, and then you see Tommy walk in, and he's literally cleaning off his brother, like cleaning him, getting him ready for the process going through everything. That you could see him that was his chance to say goodbye to the character, for him to grieve. That's what it was. This was a grieving episode. It was a chance for everyone to grieve and go through it.
Yeah, that scene probably got me the most.
Man, when he's looking at the watch and
watch.
And one thing they did in this show is they made sure you knew that Joel is dead, right? There's no mistaking it. Like they didn't leave him there and like, oh, maybe he'll come back. No, he is dead, guys. There is no more Joel other than flashback. So I think they did a good job of showing that. You know what I mean?
100%. All right, before we get started into this, because I mean I can go into it and get lost. Say hi to the chat because you guys are amazing. You're the reason why we even come in. So I want to make sure we say hi to you guys. Got A says, so I don't forget there's a great documentary on the guy named Robert Johnson, the man that sold his soul to the devil. The story itself had a lot of Sinners vibes to it. Suppose it's a true story because Robert Johnson is a true dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you were on Chill's podcast earlier, and I was listening in on it. I was driving, so I couldn't like really type. But when you brought it up, I was like, "There's a movie called Crossroads, which I love that movie just because I love guitars and guitar playing and stuff like that." And I'm trying to remember it now. I'm like, now I got to go watch it again. And it's either is Robert Johnson as an older man or it's a person representing Robert Johnson, but it's the whole Crossroads story, selling your soul to the devil and stuff like that. Ralph Macchio's in it.
Yeah, Ralph.
Jamie
Kurtz.
Yeah. Yeah, and the end, the guitar battle at the end is just awesome. It's amazing. So yeah,
I know the story once again from everyone know how much I love Supernatural, right? So those the Supernatural, it was in there a lot. You see, but it's in a lot of TV shows. They throw that in there. The Crossroads. Demons. Yeah. So Collector says, "Hey, Spoiler Kings, are you guys doing tonight? I'm almost done with the book Housemaid. It is really good, but messed up, like seriously messed up. I went to Half Price Books, and I picked up the next book of Dune. I only read the first two. I never read the third one, so I picked that up. I picked up Children of Virtue and Vengeance because I'm almost done with Children of Blood and Bone. So this is definitely time. And then I've never read the Martian, so I'm going to reread the Martian because I love Project Hail Mary so much. I'm going to reread the Martian. It's like
the Martian is so effing good, man. All the details, and he gets all these he talks to actual scientists and astronauts and gets all these little details and shit like that. Oh, it's the movie is amazing.
Project Hail Mary. That's like Project Hail Mary. I don't know how good of a movie it's going to be. It was a freaking amazing book.
The book is super good, and but that one's way more sci-fi than The Martian. The Martian's more realistic, quote unquote.
So I thought this episode was pretty good, but it is a little slow. I thought at times. I call this episode the filler episode.
I could agree with that. Yeah. Or I could definitely picture that.
He's reminding us after this Sunday's episode coming up, there will only be 4 episodes. No. After this Sunday, there will only be 3 episodes.
Yeah, 4 episodes left now.
Right now it's 4. Which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. There's only 7 episodes this season.
Wow, that's crazy. And once that's what we started, I finally said, "Okay, we gotta go." Because I saw Mama Bear, and then she said, "Hey, boys." I was like, "Hey, we gotta go. We gotta do this, guys, because it's time to start." Fernando, what's up, everyone? Everyone saying hi to each other. The adults suck. How do they allow the 2 teenagers to take on a group of military trained people? Come on, man. They were scared. That's what it was. People were scared. I want to ask you when we get to the part, who are the 3 people that said yes? I want your opinions.
Yeah. Also, though, they think the wolves aren't an army, or a military. They just think like, oh, they started like dwindling down, after the Fireflies.
They have no idea how big this military is.
Crazy. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, Tony, what's up, man?
What's going on, Tony?
Says Ellie pulling up in Seattle looking for her op.
That's right.
Dude. First off, didn't that take them like 2 weeks to get there by horseback, by walking? You never saw them running. So by walking, they're like they're in like San Francisco going to Seattle. Like
It only took them what, like it just kind of implied like a couple of days,
2-3 days. Like they're in a tent once. Oh, like, are you in the car?
I do appreciate that because I didn't want them to drag out that long trip. You know what I mean? Unless they had some like creatures on the way or fighting or something like that. I'm glad that they did it like that because I was like, oh, they got there quick.
They could have said that, and he said 7 days later, like the next thing.
Yeah, they could have did that too. Yeah, they could have did that too.
Same thing.
But I think there was some scenes in there that they wanted to put in from the video game, right? So yeah, that's probably why we got that way it was.
I mean, Dina's wearing the same exact jacket.
The same. I was gonna say the whole outfit. I was gonna say
pretty much. Pretty much.
All right, so doing everything. Where we're at right now is Tommy, come in to clean up Joel. You know, to watch, to keep on focusing on the watch because we already know Pedro is out of there because he got like 18 jobs. He must be part Jamaican, not just part Argentinian, because he must have 17 jobs at the same time. I don't know if you guys remember that episode, that thing from In Living Color. It's like, I have 19 jobs. You lost one, you got to get 5 more. This is what it is. This household.
I think I do kind of remember that one.
The Jamaican household.
Yeah. Mama Bear says teenagers taking on insane opposition that the adults should be doing is the theme of majority of popular books, movies, and games. That is true. You know, all the was it Hunger Games, Harry Potter, you know, Golden Compass. We could go on and on and on and on. So the only bad thing is we have to wait 2 years for the next half of the season.
You think it'll only be 2?
All right.
Well, they don't have to work around Pedro's schedule anymore. So
exactly,
maybe
they can get it done.
Be a little quicker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, she's right. Even Star Wars.
Yeah. Luke was technically like, you know.
You don't see what she's doing here, guys. No. You don't see what she's doing. Trying to distract us. That's that weapon of mass distraction. That's what that was. I peep your game. I peep you, Miss Mama Bear. I see it. We got Maria in the building. How's it going? Say hello, fellas.
Hey, Maria.
What's up?
But yeah, so we saw, you know, Tommy cleaning up. He saw the watch. He saw how broken it was, and I think that was a really important scene in itself. Because then we see it back on Ellie's, you know, going back to Ellie. You know, Tommy, it looks like Tommy fixed it up and gave it to her, which was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But man, the looks on Tommy's face and the way that he looked like right then looked so much like Pedro. Like they really look like brothers. They really
did a good job.
Like the facial hair, all of it, the looks. I was like, oh my goodness, you guys were really good, knock this out of the park. But him crying and the pain in his face was just. I didn't know where they were going to go from here. I thought that Tommy was going to go crazy, and he was going to be the one that goes off first.
Mm-hmm.
And that surprised me. That didn't happen. Anything about the first scene kind of surprised you guys?
I kind of had a feeling that Tommy wouldn't. I didn't think he'd be against her, but I didn't think he would go either. When I really thought about it, he has a family and you know what I mean, a kid and everything.
Maria kick his ass. He got a black one.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
You going where?
So, and I know that's a difference from the game, right? I know that's a difference from the game, and I think it works more for the show. It shows that Tommy has matured a lot from where we first seen him. You know what I mean? So I think it works for the show. So I was cool with it.
Yeah. The character progression of Tommy is really working for me. It kind of went in the direction that I feel like I kind of expected it, just kind of considering where we've picked up with him this season. So I was fine with it. For whatever reason, I kind of expected them to make that kind of like narrative deviation from the game.
Yeah, because they've kind of really changed him, or at least where he's at from where in the game. You know, because in the game he's there and Dina's not. You know, when Joel winds up getting killed. You know, on the way to Seattle, I'm pretty sure he goes with them. You know,
he leaves before them.
Yeah, in the game. He leaves before them.
In the game? Okay.
He leaves before them, and then they catch up to him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so they definitely changed him, but there's still something he does in the game where I wonder if they do it in the show. But so far, I really like this version of Tommy so far.
I don't think he will. I don't think he's gonna go crazy. I don't think he's gonna do it. So, but we'll get there when we get there. Let's see. She's in the building. Is that what I miss?
Not much.
I said what I like was Deuce. First of all, the GOAT is in the building, guys. GOAT here.
What's up, dude?
What I liked was that you could tell who chose yes out of those 3 votes. And I want to talk about when we get there who chose yes. I think that's gonna be really important to talk about. All right, so then we kind of fast forward. We see kind of going through the entire hospital, and We're going through all the walking injured people that are around. It's how horrible it is. And then you kind of get to Ellie and you see the tubes kind of inside her, and you see like when trying to drain all the fluid out of her lungs because she got messed up, really messed up. And she's starting to come to, and she opens her eyes, and you know that she's still seeing the last scene that she was, even though she knows they said, "Hey, you're in the hospital. Hey, so you're okay. Everything's gonna be fine." And that bone chilling scream that she gave,
man, yeah, I still hear that. And if that really doesn't solidify Bella as completely like owning this role and being really the only person who could convincingly sell this role and just solidifying her as a credible actress all around, then nothing will. Agreed. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Because even the details, I mean, you see her screaming, but you see her fingers, how they're grabbing for it. Her body is convulsing. Like she is really going after it. She is killing it.
Yeah.
I was totally just head over heels in love with what she was doing. That was great acting.
I agree with you. And to me, I think she was the best part of this episode. You know what I mean? Like it was like,
oh yeah,
tear jerker, bro. I was like, oh, I feel that, So I really enjoyed her, and I'm with you, Brad, man. Anybody that's talking about her now, like, give it up. She was chose for this role because she's really good, really good actress. Really
she's a great actress.
It really, it really showed that she was up to the task. To kind of carry this. Sans Pedro Pascal. So yeah.
Fernando says Tommy gives me Rick Grimes vibes from Walking Dead.
How about that?
That's a good one.
I didn't give that too much thought.
We got Sully in the building. What's up, Sully?
Come on, Sully.
But yeah, man, that scream, the crying, the emotion that we got from her was just so. And then we go right from that screaming into the intro. And wasn't this the first time that in the intro, when they're going through like even the city, the first name you saw was Bella Ramsey?
Yep.
Not Pedro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wow. So they're like, he's going, he's not coming back. Period. Don't ask me no questions. He's not here.
Facts.
So now after that, we get to the 3 months later. You still see the town really trying to put itself back together, trying to work with the gate, trying to work on all the metal parts. And you can see Tommy laboring through, trying to build, I don't know if it's a corner store or whatever. And Jesse just taking the ish and just like, young man's game. Man's game. I got this. To me, I think that was foreshadowing that, if Tommy does choose it, he feels like the town could be in good hands with Jesse. That's why Jesse's on the council, all that stuff. It was just foreshadowing that Jesse could take over and Tommy could feel, besides the family part, Tommy could just kind of leave it if he did choose to do so. Do you think that was what they're doing, or am I just overlooking it, or am I just hoping?
No, I could definitely picture that. I think a lot of the shots in this show and just kind of like a lot of the narrative decisions are for a very specific reason. So my mind even kind of went there a little bit. That's yeah. that's pretty much immediately what I thought, man.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, just do the lingering shot.
Yeah. They go out of their way and show you who's important in the town.
Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, what do you guys think of the 3-month time jump immediately after that cold open?
Go ahead, Tank.
No, I was gonna say I think it's for the best, because otherwise, what are you gonna get? Like, a whole episode of them just cleaning up the dead
bodies,
dead bodies and repairing and stuff like that. So I thought that was for the best because. Ellie's injured, so she's gonna, it allows like, all right, we can skip all the cleanup and then get into more of what happens next kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I like it too because I think it makes a lot of sense. You know what happened to the town? It's gonna take years to get that town back on point. You know, so to at least fast track it by 3 months. Yeah, I was good with that.
Also, it makes the decision that they make in this episode a little bit more meaningful. That they're not going off of emotional reaction. They're like, it's been 3 months. They buried their dead. They're rebuilding. Like life has gone on a little bit. Not that they forgot about it, but it's also like, because I'm sure that night everyone's like, let's fucking kill them, you know. But 3 months goes in, you're like, okay, well, hold on, you know, let's, you know, then they gathered themselves. So I thought it was pretty good.
Wasn't that important to kind of? So it's like they're physically getting over something, but they're not mentally or emotionally getting over it. Because that's when, even when we fast forward back to Bella, when she's in the doctor's office, she's physically gotten over it. So we saw the town that's physically starting to get over it, but emotionally, that's where the problem is. And I think we saw they're all pretending like it's going to be okay, just like Bella was going to pretend like she was going to be okay. I feel like they're just kind of mirroring each other, the town and Bella, and they're pretending that it's going to be good, and it's not what's really there. It's underlining, and we all see it, and that's why you hear other people speaking about it out about it, and that's why that she's going to leave. Like that's, you knew that was going to happen. You knew Dina was going to go with her. You understood all those things because of what was happening, because of the mirroring of the town.
Agreed.
100.
Tony says Bella's going to be here for a long time. Very talented.
Yeah. Because as soon as she popped up in Game of Thrones, you're just like, oh, she's a badass in Game of Thrones. And then she comes in and becomes Ellie, who's another like badass in the game. So
isn't she part like a little bit autistic?
I
think I read something about that somewhere. Yeah.
I believe so.
I believe it. Which is just amazing that she's still able to deal with people and understand that. That's just even more unbelievable, for her. So Isabella Merced as well. Like, dude, she's killing it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. She's already going to be in a bunch more stuff.
Yeah.
Say, what's up, books, girls, and purrs?
What's up?
What's up?
Yeah, I do believe that she is. Like, she's a little slightly autistic, which is a lot of people. You'd be surprised at how many people in the world that you deal with all the time are slightly autistic. So she's on the scale. But she talked about it. I think she's giving interviews about it. With that being said, we fast forward to, I said, Ellie, physically she's going through everything, showing that she has the lung capacity. She's able to do everything she needs to do. And the doctor says, okay, you ready to go home today? You only got to do one more thing. And it's basically a psyche valve. And that was, I saw it coming, and she obviously saw it coming because she lied her ass off so much. And it was funny because, later in the episode when the doctor says, oh, she's a liar.
A liar.
And he says, like, well, no, some people do lie. It doesn't mean that make them a liar. So I agree with you, but she's a liar.
Yeah. But she's not wrong. She's not wrong.
It was just so funny. I thought that was like hilarious. And they, like, I know her. No, this is not something that was going on. She's not anything else but a liar. And she's going to lie. And that was foreshadowing what we're going to get very soon.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she talks to her. She does all her things. She's pretending to be well adjusted. She's also trying to pretend like she's gotten over her grief. And you could, it's totally like all the words are right, but you can see the facade. Like you can see her just lying so much, So yeah, no, I thought that was really interesting. She seemed very much like a teenager. She seemed like she was trying to outsmart the system, and that's not at all what was going on. But she got away with it, just like every other time.
But you see, that's the thing, though, right? Even though she did what she did, she was only fooling herself. She did not fool that doctor at all, one bit, right? The doctor already knew that, she's emotional and she's hiding it. So it was up to Ellie to actually, when she gets to the house and she starts crying. I was like, yeah, she's gonna break down soon. So yeah,
which is funny because she literally says that to the doctor. He goes, "Oh, but then I guess I have to let myself off the hook."
Yeah,
you know. So it's like she understands. She understands the psychology behind it all, but it's like she's so young and cocky, where it's like, don't.
I think she just read the book and she knew that's what she wanted to hear, so she was just telling you what you wanted to hear. Just like a kid that wants to go out at the end of the night, they're gonna tell you exactly what you want to hear. And then they're gonna go sneak out the door. This is what they're gonna do. They're gonna tell you in your face what you think, and still be a kid.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but even her fact, the way her hair was, the way everything was, it just seemed like she looked very young. And this is totally different, Ellie, because she's not one to open up at all. So I thought that was really interesting. Even though the doctor, no matter how drunk or high she is, she's like, "Yeah, you're stupid, whatever." And then she walks out of the hospital like, "Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I told her I'm about to go get these guys." It's like whatever, man. You're so stupid. But then
I also like how they keep showing like she is an alcoholic. Like she's at the I know later on, she tells you like, listen, drugs, weed, and booze, like that's all I can buy in life right now, and this is the person that's supposed to help other people. So yeah.
And you know what's funny? I ain't mad at her. I ain't mad at her one bit.
I mean, what else are you gonna do at the end of the world?
Facts.
There's zombies outside. I'm the most in control person you can ever find, but I'll be like, man, why wait?
100. I be just like her. As long as I got my weed and alcohol, I'm good.
Oh, that's funny. But then you pull up to the house, you see their mailbox, and you see all the flowers and notes and everything to Joel, and you realize how much he really affected the rest of the town. Yeah. This is the first time Ellie's seen it. And I see her kind of hesitate a little bit before she's walking up. She's like looking at all that stuff, and it was hard. And then she's like very much looking at this daunting thing, trying to enter this house. And what I admire about her is that she's literally, every time you can see something's hard, she pushes through. She doesn't like something's hard and she like cowers from it. She pushes through. She is literally becoming Joel, 100% becoming Joel. Like she's no longer herself. She's him. So,
which is so funny because there's a picture I wanted to bring up of they did it obviously on purpose, where in the first episode Joel walks into the house, puts his hands on the hips and kind of like looks around, and they did that in this episode where even her wearing the little jacket kind of thing over, she walks in, puts her hands on the hip, kind of looks around and does the whole, they acts like him, you know what I mean, and like physically is doing the same mannerisms and stuff like that. So
I thought that was pretty cool.
The guitar song. Oh, I don't know how much they're gonna put that into the show.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's happening. But then she was looking, she comes in, she looks at the door, and then she kind of goes into her old room first, seeing all these things, and then trying to avoid that because how hard it's going to be for her to kind of deal with it. It was afraid. You can see her kind of sneak in, walk in, and everything's exactly the way they left it, exactly the way he left it. So I thought that was good for us. I felt like we were grieving along with her, us as the viewer. And it's funny because what they always say in the video game, the hardest part is in the video game you're choosing to do it, and in a TV show or you're watching it. So it takes you out of the first person point of view. I felt like we were Ellie for a lot of this point in the episode. We were literally her going through, seeing things through her eyes. I thought that was very well done. Very good decision by the directors to do that way.
I agree.
Yeah.
Then she gets there. She's the box on his bed. She opens up the box. His watch is fixed. She opens it up. Has like a handkerchief on it or a scarf in it, and underneath that it has his gun, his old rickety gun. And the first thing she does is take that, put it behind her, put it in her pants, because that's what Joel would do. Everything that she did was exactly the way he would do it.
Yeah.
And we all understood that. But then once she kind of walked into that closet or saw his jacket, I saw it. I was like, no, don't go over there. Let's not do this. Oh my God, don't do it. And she's walking over there and she touches his jacket. And then she like smells his jacket and then she feels it on her face. And then she just starts to break down. And the grieving process has begun with her. And it was hard. It was hard to watch and not get emotional a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. That's one of the scenes where I said, like, you know, she does a great job because you could feel the emotion and the pain in her, right? And, you know, for me, if you're an actor and you can make me feel that pain, you've already done half of your job. So, yeah, she did it. Yeah, she did it well. Very good job.
They said when they were doing it that even after said cut, she would continue to cry.
I believe it.
She used her connection with Pedro, knowing that she wasn't going to see him and missing him, all that stuff. She literally continued to cry even after they were cut. Anytime they did the scene, they had to take a long time to get back to that point because she was literally in all the way in.
Yeah. Which is funny because like I was watching the motion capture of the video game, you know, of them doing it, man. And man, it was rough to watch. And this is the motion capture, like it's people in like black spandex with like polka dots all over them, you know, and like literally some of the other actors were crying and stuff like that. So it's like when it's done well, like this story is so emotional that when it's done well, either by the video game actors or you know the series actors, it hits you hard, you know. So
yep, agreed.
All right, so the next scene, while she's crying, she hears a knock at the door. It's Dina. So Dina, she fixes her face up. Dina comes in. She sits at the table. She looks a little uncomfortable. She's like, okay. So it seems like they really haven't talked that much, you know, in the last 3 months. She's definitely seen her. She came and seen her at the hospital, but she haven't really had a conversation, you know, about what happened or even talked about that day since then. You know, Dina says, yeah, I got to tell you something. So she's like, why'd you make the cookies? And he's like, well, I have to give you cookies. I got some bad news. And she's like, what's the bad news? So you remember I told you I don't remember anything? I kind of remember everything.
Yeah. Legit everything.
Like I know names, dates, locations. I was like, what? You didn't have concussion? You knew all of those things?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Symbols and
3 months you remembered everybody's name, and you know what I mean? I was like, okay.
I know he wears a size 12 shoe. He walks a little bit with a limp. Like I'm like, how do you know all this stuff? Like, this is crazy.
Hey, listen, I've been on streams with people for 4 hours, and when the stream goes off, I can't remember their name. So I'm in trouble if that's me.
And that's probably what happens to the doctor. Because why? Because the weed and the drugs.
Facts.
No longer worry about it.
It might work for the doctor. Like
exactly.
You don't remember. Can't leak anything. That's funny.
But Dina tells all the truth. As she tells Ellie, Ellie's like, how dare you not tell me? And she tells her, like, you know, hey, it wasn't time for you to know this stuff because you would have tried to drag your ass out of the hospital and you weren't well. It didn't make any sense. I didn't tell anybody else. I haven't told Tommy. I didn't tell the council. I didn't tell no one. I'm just telling you. And that kind of made Ellie kind of say, okay, fine, whatever. You know, I'll accept it. And then she basically had a plan about, you know, where they were. She knows what the wolves are. She knows where they're located. She knew everything. So there's no hunting for clues. I have all the information right here for you. I thought that was real, very well done. But probably the most important thing that Dina says is she tells her, understand, I loved him too.
Yep.
And I think that's what really kind of woke up Ellie, you know, like, yeah, I know you're in pain, I'm in pain too.
Yeah, like it's bigger than you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what did you guys think about
that? I liked it. I just wished we would have seen a little bit more of Dina and Joel. You know what I mean? To show that there was that, and maybe we will in flashbacks. You know what I mean? But yeah, I thought it was great too. You know, and I love that she came prepared. Like she had the list. She's like, "Would you have this? You have that? You have this?" So she was thinking ahead, and she knew that Ellie was going to do that when she got better. So she's like, "All right, I'm ready." Yeah, I really liked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this goes to show like how Joel is so much of a good person, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is he really a good person?
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Is he really a good person?
How much of a protector he is. I mean, change it. You know, because he
how
does
important he was to other people.
Yeah,
he
protects people he loves, and he's willing to do anything to protect them. So
anything.
So, exactly. So he's a good people to the people who love him and know him, but to everybody else, you know what I mean? He's Joel.
He could be the devil.
Yeah, pretty much.
When Ellie pushed back the cookies to Dina, my first thought was that those cookies are probably terrible. So I mean, how about you eat one of these boys and try to tell me anything about it?
You know what? You might be right, because after Ellie ate one, she pushed them back to her and said, "Here, you have one." You know what I mean?
I mean, she did give her like a little bit of a look, like bit into
it. These cookies taste like biscuits. And then so now they go tell Tommy about all the stuff that Dina just kind of told them, which is good. But did you not notice the outfit that Dina was wearing? Did anyone else? So the jacket it was like a very rainbow.
Yeah, like a multicolored. Yeah,
but specifically rainbow. So I just think that once again they're kind of hinting at certain things with each of these characters always. So I thought that was a good little detail that could be coming. That she won't notice, even though she is back with Jesse. That's not all that's going on.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So Tommy tells them, "Hey, I hear you, I love you, but we're gonna have to do this right. We gotta take this to the council. Why? Because I'm married to Maria and she'll kill me, and that's the real truth. We can't just do nothing, without the okay of the council." So he convinces her. She says okay, but he still kind of makes that connection with Ellie, which is good. Then we get to that scene that was very weird, where you get this other group, the religious group walking, seeing like they're trying to stay away from all the fighting. We don't know where they are. They're just kind of walking in the middle. They're communicating by whistling, and all had the hair all done, and the guys got the hair cut shaven, and they communicate in whistles. And he had a little girl, and the father's trying to explain to her how their culture works, why they believe the things they believe. They all have those little cuts on their faces right here. And you as a viewer, you're wondering, so why are they doing this? Why are they showing us this? Did you guys know exactly what was going on immediately with this scene?
Not really.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, I mean, they really keep it very vague in the show. There's just this new group of cultists. So
I had no idea who they were. Like, you know what I mean? Especially me, because I don't play the game. And that's one thing that I like too is, so you know the big details of what happened in this game, but I have no idea how the game ends, and I want to keep it that way. You know what I mean? So when I showed that, I was like, I have no idea who the hell, who are these people? So I think it's interesting.
But right at the end of that scene, when they said we gotta hide from the wolves.
Yeah.
But at that point, you don't know if they're talking about the group or they're talking about real wolves. But then they go right to the next scene, the picture that Dina made of the patch, the WLF wolf patch. So you kind of understand that's what they're talking about. They're hiding from them. So I thought that was a cool way that they did it. Now we go into Ellie. She's training with Jesse, trying to show that she's strong enough to kind of go. Jesse's like, look, you need to be using your other hand. This is not, can't baby yourself if you really want to show that you're strong enough for any of this stuff. Then Jesse's tells her, I'm on council. She's asking about it. And he said, I can't talk to you about this right now here. But he gives her advice. You can't go in there emotional. You need to write it down. You need to really think about what you're going to say. It needs to come from you. It needs to make sense. And you need to present yourself as a non-emotional person that's trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And which is exactly opposite of Ellie.
Yeah.
Go in there and don't be you. That's basically what he says. I think that was a really good connection. And it seems like she has a really good connection with Jesse overall.
Yeah.
So thought that was really, really cool. She takes it to heart and it's like she's actually going to sit down and try to write something. So the next scene we get right into is, the council meeting. Did anyone else want to shoot the dude who was going forever? About stuff.
Oh,
I found that funny. I was laughing. I'm like, hey, what are you talking about? Corn? You know what I mean? He's like, corn is not that. It's hard to grow, but it's really good. I was like, really? This is what we're doing?
When he started, he goes, "Oh, we should invest in turkeys."
Yeah,
not chickens or something like that. But it just goes to show you, it's like they're already, moving past this. Like they're thinking of the future of their city. It's like, hey, we should really look into doing this.
Everyone else was like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you're there for a certain reason. And he's like, hey, I want to bring up my other things.
It's funny because Maria says, all right, thank you, as he's still trying to talk. It's like, sit down, clown. And then one girl gets up and then start talking about the real stuff about Joel and the decision. She says, a lot of people lost people there. Why would we go after one man? I'm grieving too. I lost my sister. I lost all this stuff. I know a lot of people here lost a lot of people. Why would we give up on this town knowing that we have to fix this up first? So and a lot of people and obviously some people rolling eyes, and then the older guy says, hey, let's just forgive and forget. And turn the other cheek. This is gonna keep us good. What's we gonna do? And I was like, dude, that is the most boring, stupid ass thing in the end of the apocalypse. You think we should just turn the other cheek? That means you gonna get ran over.
I said the same exact thing. You're just gonna turn the other cheek.
And then they're gonna punch you in the face. That's what they're gonna go
do.
And that's why I loved when dude stood up and was like, you guys are out of your mind. And he was like, no, we need to go and strike back. And he was the same one that did the thing with Ellie, you know what I mean? And the last
was a bigot before to Ellie and standing up. It's obviously he's trying to make amends. I think he believes what he was saying.
Oh yeah.
We need to go fight. He just seems like he's a red ass. You ever meet that red ass guy that just no matter what's ready to go to war?
Yeah.
If you saw the count 2, you see another 2 of those guys. I can't wait to talk about that. But he's yelling at everybody. He's trying to get everyone riled up, and everyone's still. Even then, people are. It seemed to me that's when I thought people looked like they're afraid. That they're afraid to even think about that could be a possibility. That by not doing anything, you actually could be hurting. And you see Maria kind of mark off all the last name, Carlisle, and ask Ellie to stand up. And Ellie goes through her speech, and I want to know what you guys thought about her speech.
I thought it was great. She did an amazing job. I felt the emotion of her speech. Now, obviously, she was lying, right? Because she does want revenge. Yeah, you know what I mean? But she did a well enough job that everybody that kind of questioned her, like the psychiatrist, they were like nodding, like, yes, this is exactly what we need to do. You know what I mean? So I did enjoy that, but it's possible that maybe some of the council members kind of didn't believe her, right? After everything she's been through. So that could be one of the reasons why some of them voted no. But I think her speech was amazing. Like it was teary-eyed, trust me.
Yeah. And I like how us as viewers could really tell how obvious it was that she was lying, just kind of knowing the kind of character that Ellie's established as, and we know exactly what's on her mind as viewers. And just compared to how we usually hear how snippy and mouthy Ellie usually is, to kind of hear that that level of kind of like humility and subtlety like come out of her mouth. We know she's saying what everyone wants to hear, which I found really interesting, and I think Bella Ramsey played that just right. So yeah, that was what I enjoyed about that particular scene, and what stood out about it for me.
Yeah. It's because like she knew, like she took what Jesse said. Like, hey, no one wants to hear anger, and now you heard kind of from both sides. You heard a person who was like, hey, I don't think we should fight, and then you heard a person is like, yeah, we should go kill him. Now you got like the emotions from both sides, and now you have the person who probably opinion matters the most, sounding very level-headed and sounding like righteous almost, like, oh, this isn't about revenge, it's about justice, and you're just like, damn, because then it goes back to the other dudes who's like, he goes, oh, we need to, what makes us better than them is like justice does, so it's like, she was able to take that down, with what she said. So but yeah, she was lying through her teeth,
yeah, she's like, whatever you guys decide, I'm going to be okay with.
Yeah, she did the politics thing, made a speech that people wanted to hear, and she knew what would work.
The doctor even was like, look at her. She looked impressed, like, oh man, look at her. Lying through her damn teeth. The worst.
Yeah. She's a professional liar.
Yeah, that's too good of a lie. Oh my goodness. I would believe it if I didn't know that she is a terrible, terrible liar. But then you saw everyone in the council voting, and I feel like you knew they already had their minds made up where they're going to vote.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And as they're reading votes, we hear, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, and you hear no. And for me, it felt like the people who had kids, a lot of people that had kids in the town, would say no, because they also don't want to be the people to go out there. And personally, I thought the council did a bad job, because I thought that they should have said, I want to make it volunteers. If you want to go, I want to hear from you. If we have enough volunteers, then you guys can go. If not, we're going to stay here, and leave it up to the people. We're not going to mandate anything, but we're going to leave it to the people to decide. Yet they didn't do that. They just told her like, no, we're not going to support you.
I mean, I don't think so, because if you tell a warrior, do you want to go fight or do you want to stay here? What are they going to choose? They're going to choose what they're made to do, you know what I mean? So you're gonna tell the 16 best fighters, hey, do you want to go fight? They're gonna be like, fuck yeah, I want to go fight, So but then it's like, hey, we also need you here for defense, in case something like this happens again, in case somebody else comes in and attacks it.
Hey, we're going to send a scout like they do any other time they send a scout. We're going to go send some people out there. There's a lot of decisions that could have been made that weren't being made. Wow. I feel like it was almost a show. They really didn't want to, really wanted to go. that way. They could have said that we're going to do it this way. 16 seemed like an arbitrary number in itself. So like, why are you saying 16? Like they could have said, well, no, we're not going to do this. We're going to let 5 go. We're going to figure out what's going on, and then we'll come back and we'll make a decision from there.
Yeah. Scout seems smarter, like literally send 2 people, go look at what's out there. Like if you don't come back, then we know, we're fucked.
And if we have 2 volunteers that want to do it, you're not going to fight. You're going to go figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I can agree with that because instead of, sending out, you got to scout. You got to know what's going on there, right? Because we already know they're assuming that the Fireflies there's not a lot of them. And at the end of that episode, I was like, oh, they got tanks. Okay.
It's like they got tanks, guys. They got tanks. As they march, you hear the ground move, feel the ground move, underneath your feet. They have no problems. Tony says the town needs to realize that they have to show they're the strong, or other factions will come and take over.
Yeah,
that's exactly, and that's actually what the guy said. If we show that we're weak, they're going to come take.
It's
so
funny
why
too,
are you ready to play defense?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's funny too because when we saw that other group, I thought that maybe while a couple people are out, that group was gonna try and attack the town, but then we seen what happened to them, and I'm like, okay, so then the wolves are a lot more evil than we thought they were, right? So yeah, because Abby was like, oh, we don't kill innocent people and stuff like that, and yeah, they do. So.
It depends on who you call, what you call innocent. If you're not in our group, then you're not innocent.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't kill our people.
Yeah.
What type of group will let Abby thrive?
Yep.
And that's kind of what came out of it, and we realized that is who they are. But okay, so council says no, but we had 3 people that voted yes. Who do you guys think are the 3 people?
We can all agree, Tommy, right?
Tommy's
one for sure.
I agree.
Jesse?
I think Jesse's one of them too. Now, a better question. Well, not really a better question, but
I want to know if you guys think Maria is the 3rd person or not.
No, I think she's voted no.
Yeah, I think she voted no.
I think Maria voted no, and I think that might be an issue with her and Tommy going forward. You know what I mean? Because it's something that could bring a little bit of tension to their relationship, because it looks like they're bringing Tommy, giving him more stuff to do. So, yeah, I definitely think Maria voted no.
Just for the fact that she didn't want him to leave their family, because she knows if they say yes, the first person volunteering to go is Tommy.
It's him.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So I agree. I don't think Maria is the 3rd person. I think they did it because we know those characters the best, and say, oh, 3 people that we know are the ones that said yes. And I think that's going to be something that drives Tommy out. Like, how dare you not let us go? How dare it? Well, the council voted. You didn't even say yes, and he's going to find that out, and he's going to be like ready to go, and then it's going to try to drive him out.
Yeah.
So. So we go through that. They go through the baseball game. He's talking to the doctor. She calls Ellie a liar. She's crazy. Also talks about him and how he's dealing with it. Talks about the town. Talks about how she's dealing with it. And I don't know. And somehow she's able to drink beer at a little league game. So
just sitting out there living her best life.
She really
is. I'm not mad at it.
I wish she would have pulled out a joint and started smoking that. You know what I mean?
I kind of half expected her to.
Me too.
But was it interesting that she was able to really depict exactly where Ellie is? And what did she say? The one thing she said, sometimes you just gotta let people do what they're gonna do, because you're not gonna be able to control them. And some bad people are gonna do bad decisions, and you just gotta let them do it. You can't save everybody, Tommy. You can't save everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I love
like
when
she was saying that for important reasons.
Oh, 100%. And I love when she was like, Joel didn't put her down this path. They were walking side by side.
Side by side.
Yeah. That was great.
She knew so much, even though it wasn't ever talked about. Like Joel never opened up about that, but they are literally. She knows that they're the same person. That's why they argue. That's why they fight so much, and that's why they love so hard. Absolutely. They're the same person.
Yeah.
Forged in the fire by all the terrible things that they had to endure.
Mm-hmm.
I also believe that, and I think we'll probably get it in a flashback, that Joel told Tommy what really happened. And I think Tommy is going to be the one who's going to tell Ellie, like, no, this is what actually happened. You know what I mean? Because from right now, nobody really knows the truth about what Joel did with the Fireflies, right? Because even when the psychiatrist was talking, she was like, he just said he saved you. You know what I mean? He said he saved you when he's talking to Ellie. So I think that we'll get a flashback of Joel telling Tommy what happened, because he does tell him in the game, right? So I think we'll get that in a flashback.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if because Joel definitely did, because he they don't talk about it. They said in the first episode, we don't talk about that because he told him we don't want to kind of rock the boat. We don't want to shake the hornet's nest. But I think that the wolves tell her what happened, and she says she denies it, and Tommy confirms it.
Mm-hmm.
But do the wolves actually, because I know it was a small part, but a lot of the wolves, they don't actually know that they were going to kill Ellie, right? I don't think everyone knows.
They won't know. They just know what Joel did.
But I know. But what I'm saying is, I think Ellie's going to find out that Joel did what he did because they were going to kill her. You know what I mean?
She already knew. Yeah, she was ready to die. Remember?
No, she wasn't. She didn't know. She didn't know. She
didn't know.
In season 1, I thought she said, "You have to do it. I'm ready to die regardless." Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. I'd have to go back, but no. From what I recall, from what I recall, she didn't know that she was going to die.
Or she said, "If I die, it's okay."
Yeah,
I think she does say
that. Yeah, yeah. So I think that Tommy knows because Joel told him, and I think they're gonna have that conversation. He's gonna tell, listen. I know you mad at Joel and everything, but the reason why he did what he did is because they were going to kill you to get the cure. And they don't even know that, nobody was 100% sure that what she had, if it was going to even work, right? Yeah. So, and I think that's why Joel did what he did. So, yeah. So I definitely think Tommy knows.
Yeah.
Sully says, I need Tommy to join up on Ellie's journey. Hopefully him being more domesticated in the show is setting us up to be more satisfied when he eventually heads out of Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about this?
I think
it could happen. It wouldn't surprise me with some of the changes here and there that they're making from the game. But at the same time, I'd be fine with if they kind of stay the course that they've kind of established with him. I think that it makes sense in the context of the show to me.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I think him joining might be a little bit of a step backwards. But if they did, I wouldn't necessarily rule it out happening.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure
it's funny.
It's
funny though, because I can see what you're saying 100%, but I also think that because they're following the game and changing a little things, right? Because in the game, Joel goes out, Ellie follows her when they find out that when they find out Tommy leaves. Right, Ellie and them go out. So I think they're going to do the opposite. I think when Tommy and Maria find out that Ellie and Dina are gone, then Tommy's going to go out to find them. So I do think Tommy's going to end up with them.
Yeah.
Like I said, it very well could. I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, I mean, Tommy's gonna leave. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if it's a spoil where just everything from here on out is bad decisions. Mm-hmm. Everything is bad decisions. So yeah, like and bad. It's not a happy ending. It's not a game where you're like, oh yeah, the good guy won. No, it's like you're like, oh, fuck,
who's the good guy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just by the end you're just like, why do I feel like shit? Like after experiencing this story, you're like,
I think so. Personally, when the psychologist was talking to Tommy, the whole point of that whole scene was not just about Ellie, but about Tommy. Not saying that Ellie's turning into Joel and all that stuff. That wasn't just for Ellie. It was a cautionary tale for Tommy. Because you also just like him, you also know all about him, you also could turn into him. It was a cautionary tale. She could see it in him, and she was saying all those things, and she was telling him, "Leave it alone, because if you go, you're going to turn to something that you don't like. Yeah, because you're very much like your brother, even if you don't want to admit it."
Well, that too. Yeah, but I mean, they kind of foreshadowed what's going to happen in this episode by in the beginning. What was it after the 3 months time skip? Where they tell him, and he's like, "Oh, Joe will go out and save you." He goes, "Yeah, he would save me. He wouldn't go out and
for vengeance,
but he'll go out and save me because he knew I was alive." So, and then here, like you said, like she compares, like, "Oh, she is Joel. She's just a different version of him, but she is Joel." So they kind of like. It's the little things with dialogue in this show is really good.
Agreed.
I think she was trying to caution him from you not becoming that. Don't because she's gonna go make her bad decisions. She's gonna go do all these things. That doesn't have to be your future. The collector says, "I will be back in a little bit to watch some more of this. I'm going to finish my book. I appreciate you. Hey, you can watch it on the replay." Appreciate you. Tony says, think about it. What if they went through with the surgery on Ellie and the cure didn't work? Then she dies. Joel would have been completely dead inside of that. No, everyone would have been dead because Joel would have killed everybody. Men, women, children, cats, dogs, everybody would have been dead. Like he wasn't going to be discriminating for anything. He would have killed everyone. He only killed the adults this time. There's less death that way.
Yeah.
So you get it, go in there. Ellie's, packing up, trying to do in secret, getting all her guns and stuff all fixed. Like, how you're gonna carry all this crap? She doesn't know. She doesn't know. She's packing up and leaving. She's not rational. She's not thinking about anything. And she hears a knock at the door, and she's like, "Oh crap! What can I do?" And she's like, "It's Dina." And then she goes to open the door, and Dina's like, "Just open the damn door." Like, "Oh, you're gonna leave? How are you gonna get there? Where are you gonna go? You're just gonna go northwest? That's your plan? Yeah. Somehow out there, I'm gonna eventually run into them? Yeah, that's stupid." And she tells her, like, "I already have this all planned out. I already got the map. I already got all these things. Be ready at 3 a.m. I will see you. Let's go. Only carry what you can. Have good long gun with good scope. Don't just bring crap. We don't need just crap all over the place."
Yeah. I like to call out for the Chucks. This Chucks, you need actual fucking shoes.
You need actual boots. Yeah.
I was like, man, how dare you? Chucks are shoes.
Chucks are awesome.
But it probably wasn't working the code.
You're trying to run in mud. You're just trying to run in Chucks. Like, you last like 5 minutes, and you're like, why my feet hurt so bad?
What happens when they fall apart?
It's falling apart, yeah. From running, they started disintegrating.
Oh man. Yeah, it's funny. So Ellie's plan was to kill Abby with Joel's gun. And that was a big thing. The gun needed to happen.
Yeah.
Books, Girls, and Purrs says, agree, Tony, there was no guarantee that her being sacrificed will lead to a cure. All right. I'll turn this around. I'll ask you guys. You're Joel. You know, someone that you care deeply about. You could say your child, your grandchild, your cousin, your sister, whatever. I don't know, we don't have children, but that's how, you know, let one sacrifice could save the world, or it could not. Would you let them do it?
Well, now you're talking about stuff that's going to happen soon. You're bringing up questions that might happen in the next couple episodes. So,
I was going to wait till it came back, Tank, in 2 episodes. I would say, well, you said.
I'm not sure. I have way too much of a guilty conscience. Even when I make the most like menial of trip ups. So I'm not sure.
I think, would you sacrifice your daughter to save the world?
No, that's my daughter. No, that's my child. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, we are going.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah, I mean, we are going. I'm not doing that.
I wouldn't just not sacrifice my daughter. I'll kill everyone who's trying to kill her.
Oh, facts. 100%.
So Joel might be a bad guy, but maybe that means I'm a bad guy too, because I would have been on that same train. There's no, I don't care what she says. I don't care what nobody else says. You ain't taking her, and I'll be the last one gone.
Y'all created facts. You all created this mess, and now you want to take my kid's life to save everybody else? Nah, you guys did that.
Not
you know what I mean? Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's my world is my kid, and you want me to sacrifice my world to save this shithole of that's left? You know, it's like nah. We all can't even get along, and we want to save that?
Facts. And you know how many trolls be on the internet talking about how she should have died and thank you. You know what I mean? Like all kinds of hatred and stuff. Nah, that ain't happening, bro.
Yeah,
sorry.
Nope.
Book says, nope, I'm throwing my family under the bus. Plus, Ellie didn't even get a chance to consent to the sacrifice.
Exactly.
And I think she would have. The thing is, she would have.
She's not old enough to consent.
She's not. Yeah.
And that's what I would tell my daughter. I don't give two rat's ass what you think he's going to do, what's going to happen. This is my decision. This is not your decision.
100%. Daddy, it'll save the world. No, it won't, because it's not happening. Sorry.
It don't matter. It don't matter. Yeah. We about to go live out in the mountains somewhere. We're going to be good. The world should figure out. I'll give them a little blood. Here, take some of vial of blood. See, you can figure this out. But don't ask for her life. No, I don't kill you. How about that? You know, but it's a good question. There's a lot of people that have to ask about that sacrifice. And there's a lot of people, like when I was listening to Screen Rant or whatever, that say that Abby was right and then Joel was wrong and all this other stuff. Screen Crush, that's what it was. Screen Crush.
That Screen Crush said it? That's crazy. Abby is 100% wrong.
Yeah, but he likes Abby. I don't know. He's saying he thinks Abby's one of the better characters. He calls it an anti-hero. Anti-hero. She the worst villain I've ever seen. So, but we blame Joel for going through all this stuff. I don't understand it. I don't understand the love. But Fernando thinks Abby is right too. So, but I don't know if he thinks she's right for wanting revenge or right that the town was right. So I don't know, I have to ask him about that.
And here's the thing too, right? So even if they were to use Abby to get a cure, yes, they would be able to stop people from changing, but you still have a threat you got to deal with. You still got creatures out there. You know what I mean? Who's to say that they won't evolve too, right? Into something more powerful. So now you killed Abby for a cure that might work
Ellie,
for a year or two. Ellie. Yeah. That might work for like a year or two. Nah, that none of that works, bro. That doesn't work.
But even if you go even past that, say you get rid of all of it, boom, in an instant, boom, they're all gone. All the zombie funguses are gone. Like you still have what's what's the military group? Freda, what the fuck that was called?
ERDR.
Yeah, and then you got the wolves, fireflies, got the new cult that we saw this week. There's all these people who just don't play well. So it's like even if you get rid of the zombies, you still got to deal with the people.
Absolutely.
And the people are just as bad, if not worse. Because they choose to do this. At least the fungus, they're kind of, just an instinct.
Agreed.
So Ellie gets there. She's there at 3:00. Dina's coming in with her horse. One horse for them to share, and the old bigot guy comes and gives a trade. You want to take my gun? I'm gonna take yours. It's better. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to do this. And he's like, I would come with you if I couldn't limp all around the place and wasn't old. So that's basically what he's going.
Said if I wasn't already in deep shit for something that happened on New Year's.
Yeah, he got injured on New Year's. Yeah.
But he can't move. Yeah, because he can't because Joel's gonna fuck him up. You made bad decisions, bro. But yeah, they get on the horse. They take what they got. He gave them a lot of rations. He kind of prepared them for it, and they're out the door. Closes the door. But before they left, I thought this was a great scene. They did visit, the grave sites. They went and said bye to Joel, and even that scene. I mean, the sun on the mountain, the scene was just beautiful, and it was her saying goodbye to him, and she had the coffee beans and everything, and dropping that on him, and that was tough to watch again, like this entire show, but it was very heartfelt. You felt it, and I thought it was so well done.
Agreed. And another thing too is that even though, so I know what happened with the dude, right? But he was trying to make him ends, and Ellie was still like giving him this attitude, you know what I mean? So when she shook his hand towards the end, I was like, okay, at least she shook his hand. You know what I mean? You don't have to like him, but you can see that he's trying to, even though he may have really believed that or thought that way, he was still trying to do the right thing. You know what I mean? He was still supportive of what Ellie and them wanted to do. So when she shook his hand, I was like, okay, finally, at least we got something there. But she's still kind of giving that little bit of attitude when he was the only one helping,
But it also goes to show you, like, hey, you can turn the other cheek. But that's the funny part, is like the two people who want to go to war, who want to fight are like doing what the other guy said to do. Like, hey, if we just kind of each other and move past shit, everything will be better. That's what they did.
It's also because they're family. But they're family. That's what they're saying. We know each other. We're not strangers. This is what we are.
Yeah.
So it's easier to do it with people that you know than it is with everyone else. So that's what so these strangers don't count.
Yeah.
So then it's like so Ellie's done. She walks back and you can see her. I think she understood the gravity of the situation, and no matter what, they got on their horse and they went off. And it seemed like 3 days later they made it all the way there. But before there, it was so weird. I was like, how? Is it weird that they went all that way and didn't see not one zombie?
Yes.
I thought the same exact thing.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, that was an opportunity, right? You see something, a monster, something to that effect. A bear, something.
Because they introduced the stalkers, right? We got to get more of those. You know what I mean? We have to have a scene where she's fighting them and they're doing all their stalking thing. I hope we get that, because I'm with you. This was an opportunity to get a little bit of more creatures in there. You know what I mean? And they kind of missed that part. So
if you will tell me that this entire route there's no zombies. Why isn't everyone just living there?
Facts. Yeah. Facts. 100%. Yeah. Because you could walk around freely then. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like they're in these locked up places, like everything. And I get it, you want to lock off your society and stuff like that. But at the same time, why are you worried about walking around when you can just walk from one place to another and no creatures, nothing?
Is that the cure? You're from the Northwest. the coffee beans in Seattle. That's what it is. I thought that was just so weird. And then while they're walking, you hear Dina doing the car ride game, doing all type of asking all these questions. I was like,
was great.
Look for license plates too. This is what you do.
So I did the math real quick because I was kind of curious. Jackson, Wyoming to Seattle, Washington, walking it's 868 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Walking
like 2 weeks.
Yeah, walking. Yeah, pretty much. Walking, it said it's 316 hours according to Google, which is like 13 days, a little bit over 13 days, so 2 weeks. 14 days to get there. But you've got to figure it's on horse, so maybe they can go a little bit quicker on horse than walking. Probably not much, but
a little bit faster. But they're walking the horse. So
exactly. Yeah. They're not running, right? They're walking the horse. So
but so 2 weeks. It's a 2-week walking trip.
So why would you expect zombies in the zombies apocalypse?
All I know is like pretty much like zombies just don't want to be in Idaho and Washington. It's like, nah, fuck that.
Like Portland.
We'll stick to Atlanta and New York.
Well, you had the wolves just parading around in the streets in Seattle, so they ain't there either. Like, where are they? You know what I mean? Like, they don't seem like I know, but it just seems like it's only a threat when they come out and it's like, they're chasing everybody, but they're like just dormant the rest of the time. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, especially when we know all the vines.
Zombies. It's the mushroom zombies. They repel by the coffee.
Well, they do look like mushroom heads, so I agree with you on that one. 100%.
It's a fungus. It is a fungus virus. It's a fungal virus. Yeah. So maybe that is it. So we finally at the scene where they're in the tent having conversations, and because Dina kind of knew that the rain was coming. I don't know if she felt it in her knee, her young knee. I don't know how she knew what rain was coming, but she knew that I'm all ready to go. And then they had this light on. I was like, why do you have this light on? Why only thing you can do is be showing other people stuff. I don't understand why you're doing this, but they can see everything, and they're having conversations, and Dina wants to talk about the night, New Year's Eve night and all that stuff. And she was like, and she kept on saying, you're gay and, I'm not, but, and, of course I went back to Jesse 2 weeks later. Yeah, of course. That's what we do. And then the further you get into it, she's like, well, I wasn't really that drunk. Maybe I was just, saying I was drunk. And, you can see that this was kind of laying foundation for what their relationship is going to be going forward, and how the feelings are going to be explored going forward.
Absolutely. And I'll give you another one because it kind of bothered me too, like you said, with the tent, right? The tent's just there in the middle of nowhere, right? Again, where are the zombies? Like, where are the creatures? Where is the threat? There seems to be no threat. You could just sleep in it. I would not be sleeping at night. There's no way I'd be able to get a good night's sleep out in there like that. You know what I mean?
With like one way in, one way out. Like,
you're in Washington. There's bears.
Exactly. So I'm just like, okay, so there's no the zombies ain't really a threat then. I mean, they are, but they're not. Like, makes no sense.
I thought it was weird. So they only brought what they could carry, but they decided to carry a towel.
I
thought that was kind of strange.
That's funny. I didn't even think about that.
It's like, I only could bring 7 items, but that bath towel, I need that. like, what is this? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? I don't understand what's happening.
Facts.
But they started to really explore the whole, Dina Ellie relationship type of thing. It was a very intense kind of conversation, and you can see that Dina is just dropping hints all over the place, and Ellie is totally confused. She looks like a dude, with a young dude that has no idea what the hell's going on. She looks as confused as one of us would. Have no idea what the hell's going on. But they wake up in the morning. They're walking through the trail. They see a guy in the middle of the trail, so they get off to kind of investigate. And Ellie's kind of bending down. Look at the guy. Then we realize it's the same guy that we saw earlier, right?
Yep.
And Dina kind of walks off into the middle of the woods. They do that a lot. I don't know why they always just decide to walk in the middle of the woods, but she she does that, and then she comes running back, ready to throw up, but she throws up all over the place. And Ellie goes by over there, and she says, "What the hell's going on?" And she sees all the bodies. And they even killed the little girl, the baby.
Yeah. No
prisoners. And these are the guys that came after Joel for doing what he did.
Ruthless.
Yeah. Wolves are everyone else. I feel like they're kind of good, kind of bad at times. The wolves are never like shown to be good guys. Like they're bad guys.
Bear said the towels in case they run out of bullets. It's a dangerous weapon. Hey, you ever been popped by one of those towels?
Oh my God.
Put a little stand on the corner of it. Put a little knife.
100%.
Do towel headshots to the zombies.
I didn't see it happen. Oh man. But no, I think that scene when you saw all those bodies, that kind of told you what you're in for. Once again, this is a foundation setting episode, right? This is about grieving, and then the foundation of what we're going to get for the rest of the season, which is only 4 episodes. But
and it just reiterates how ruthless and how much of a threat this this organization, I guess we'll call it, is. What Ellie's going to be kind of navigating through and up against the rest of the remainder of the season.
And now that she's not going to go, it's not going to be an easy experience, and she's going to be able to go kill the wolves off and then come right back. Like, hey, the conquering hero, I did what I said I was going to do. That's not where we're at right now.
No, she's going to have her work cut out for her. So
I agree. They get back on their horse. You see all the trees kind of moving, and they see Seattle, and they realize Seattle's within 10 miles. So and that one night they ran 790 miles, whatever. It is what it is. But they're finally looking at Seattle, seeing the entire city, realizing how big of a job this could be, but they have no idea how big it really is. But they still are totally under the opinion that they're going to be able to kill these guys and just move on. And then towards the end of the episode, we kind of see the wolves, knowing what they're doing. You see the tanks, the Hummers. They are a full-fledged army ready to go. This is look like a 5, 6, 7, 800, maybe 1,000 people. Like, this is just the military part, and they have just all of them ready to go. So, and that was the end of the episode.
Yep.
What were your thoughts on the entire episode since we broke it all down?
It did pretty much what I expected. The aftermath of the shocker of what happened last week. But it covered that pretty quickly and efficiently. I liked the time jump because I think that it kind of it worked in terms of narrative, and I think looking at the entirety of the episode, it was very necessary. Just to see how everyone's coping with this great loss. It kind of helped just kind of hammer home the impact that Joel had on the community.
Mm-hmm.
I think that pace-wise, everything was very well handled because it never lingered on anything too long, which is which is an easy trap to fall into with certain shows. So I liked how it moved forward while kind of hammering home, the serious emotion, without losing track of the emotional core of the show, and it establishes what we're going to expect next. Ellie having to fight through the wolves to get to Abby, and how big of a task that's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought this episode was great. Kind of kills the narrative that I don't like slow burns, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But yeah, I thought it was well done. It was emotional, and this is what I expected. You knew it was going to slow down after what happened in episode 2, right? You're going to have to deal with what happened with Joel. You're going to have to show that, and instead of just jumping right into her going to find Abby. So I thought it was well done. I think this is a really good episode, and I was did watch part, and I was like, I can't wait for the next one. I'm really looking forward to this show every week. So
yeah, it's definitely one of those shows that you look forward to, like you said. It's just it's really well done. And for me, this was more of a connection episode, because after last episode, like, oh, okay, Abby needs to die. How's it gonna happen? You know what I mean? So like, you have to start that journey, that quest. So this is that in between like connection of how Ellie specifically, but everybody goes from all that happened in the the zombie attack and Joel dying to all right, then how we moving forward, So and I appreciate it. They didn't drag it out. It was like one episode. We're moving on to the next part of the story, and here's all the connection. We're just gonna connect the pieces, and boom, we're off. We're going to Seattle already. So because they could have dragged it out where like she's still moping around like, oh, Joel and everyone else. Yeah, one episode, like we're already in Seattle. Like Brian said, like woke up and boom, there's Seattle. It's so pretty. But it was a good episode.
Agreed.
I feel like it was a funeral episode. Episode. We got the repass of like what's going on with the rest of the town, and then they moved on. They literally did a lot of moving on, and with a lot of emotional, baggage quickly. But it was a long episode, but it's still only one episode. So I think that's probably the best way to do it. If you're going to have it, we have the emotional connection. We're all going to do it, but we're going to move along the narrative. We're going to move on the story, and it's good. They're doing a good job, and I'm impressed with HBO Max overall, because their storytelling has been really, really good. The last few shows I've been seeing. So this content is great, and I'm excited for next week.
Agreed.
Same.
Usually this would be the time when I usually ask, hey, what do you think is going to happen? But I don't think I can ask, because you kind of know what happens. So
and there are a few of us that don't know what's going to happen and want to keep it that way. You know what I mean? So yeah,
you ask me what's going to happen, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened in the game, and then next you know, when it happens, you're going to be like, oh, hey, but they did give us a preview a little bit,
did they?
And they showed Abby, no, they didn't show Abby. They showed Dina point a gun at Ellie after they get attacked by some zombies. Well, you kind of know what that's going to happen there, right? Dina sees Ellie get bitten, and she's crying, and he has to find out that Ellie's is immune.
Yeah, because she doesn't know, right?
And then how does she handle that reaction? How does she react to it? So I think that's gonna be interesting.
Agreed.
Is there anything else you guys think?
It looks like we're getting zombies next episode. Even
We're
better.
definitely
You
gonna
know
get
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Also, there's still another season, that's also part of this same game, of the second game. So there's still a lot of story left. Like, like you feel like you're like, oh shit, like that's it, it's over. Like, no, like it just started. Like there's still a lot.
Yep.
A lot left.
And this season is going to end in a cliffhanger, and we're gonna have to wait like 2 or 3 years for the next one. Yeah.
You know why they're gonna wait 2 years to do it? Because if Game 3 gets released at all, or they get some information on it,
that's what I'm wondering. Like, if that's going to have any impact on the third season. I've been asking myself the same exact thing, because it seems like they're very wishy-washy. Will they, won't they, on a third game?
100% keep on doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, and if it does come out, what kind of impact will it have? And would they have enough time to work that in, assuming the third game does come out in the interim?
It's funny because I would think if it's anything, it would be to give us another season 4, right? So they would wait to find out what happens in the game and then leave it with season 3 ending with like something that leads into what the game goes into. So I think they would do something like that. We'll see if we get the game, though. That's the problem.
Would you guys be good with season 3 being only 5 episodes?
Ooh, nah, I want 7. If you're gonna give us 7, this I think the last season has to be 7 too. Yeah, 7.
Because I know the story and I'm looking at it. I don't know how you do.
Yeah, 100%. 5 you're rushing a little too much. Because if I think this season 2 is going to end in the game, because there is a good spot for it to transition into a third season. 5 will be a little much. 6 will be good.
These are hour 20, hour 30-minute episodes.
Yeah.
But I think what they would do is, again, they would flesh out maybe more characters that they're not really fleshing out in the game, right? To at least give us some more, emotional ties, and
it's gonna be full of emotional ties.
Yeah, I'm sure. I
think we're gonna get more flashbacks. We haven't even gotten to like Abby story yet, So like there's still like a lot.
There's gonna be an episode. I 100% believe there's gonna be an episode where they're gonna use an Abby backstory. I don't think they're gonna go over an episode for her. Just one.
It'll be one episode. Yeah, that's all you need. It'll be one episode of her flashback, and then another episode of like her currently with the wolves and like them getting ready for whatever they're doing.
I think it's all one episode. Half the episode with a flashback. And then you don't want to do a full episode flashback. They're gonna give you the other half of the episode of what's going on now with the wolves.
They'll cut the flashbacks into what she's doing with the wolves now. So you'll have an episode that's completely centered on Abby, but it'll be flashbacks and presents back and forth. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I see that.
I even stated it's going to be episode 5.
To be honest with you, I was gonna say I thought they were gonna do it already. You know what I mean? Like at the beginning of episode 2, I said, okay, so they're gonna do a flashback, which would kind of make sense to keep Joel around a little bit more. You know what I mean? But then they cut that off real quick, and then they went into it, so it's okay. But there's definitely gonna be a flashback to Abby for sure.
Yeah. I think I think you're right with episode, because episode 4 is gonna be them still getting into Seattle, and then once they're in Seattle at the end of that episode, it cuts to what's going on with Abby and the wolves.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
And then the end of the episode 5 will be about Tommy. Like not like the whole episode, but just like the last scene will be about Tommy.
And then 6 and 7.
And then 6 and 7 will be the
penultimate
penultimate one.
Yeah.
And then the finale.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
All right. You guys got anything else for this? For The Last of Us?
I looked up like how long the second game took to make. The second game took 70 months to make. And that's once they started working on it. That's not even including like them sitting on their asses and waiting. It took 70. It almost took 6 years.
6 years. Yeah, I guess it's
roughly 6.
It would. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, video games take a while to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
100.
If they're not working on The Last of Us Game 3 right now, I don't know. I don't know if it would happen before a third season.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to rush anything out too, right? You know what I mean? And then just totally kill what people like about the game. And I think they do that a lot when they try to rush out these games every couple of years. So yeah, you're definitely right. I think it would take longer than that. So,
but the reason why I even question it and think about this is because the popularity of this show is going to drive interest.
Agreed.
Yeah, then all of a sudden Neil's going to be like, "Hey, I come up with something that goes along with this," because the money's there, the interest is there, and you don't have to do it right now. Maybe the season 3, right at the end of season 3, they released the next game that Christmas.
Yeah, I think they just skip a game and have Neil write a script for season 4. He's like, cool, I have another story, but instead of getting hundreds of people and spending millions of dollars, here's a script, and here you go, HBO.
Don't they make more money?
Oh,
video games?
100%.
Yeah,
but
so
Warner Brothers has nothing, or HBO, Warner Brothers. Yeah, or no, is it? No. HBO, they don't own the game or anything like that. So it would be on Naughty Dog and the game developers.
And why wouldn't they go ahead and spend that money to make? I mean, I don't even know what number I would throw out there. $700 million,
Depends on how profitable the show is, right? And it seems like it's
I was
gonna say well received, but there's a lot of people that are already, they killed Joel, it's the end of the show, and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, can you guys like get over that stuff and look beyond what we're actually seeing? Right? This is good
seriously.
TV. You know what I mean? Like, get over it now. It's done. It's over, So, but I'm with you. I think that if they throw enough money on there, you could get a game 3 going. It's just like Tank said, like, you don't want to rush it out. And if it takes like 5 years and they haven't started already, now maybe they went slow. Right, so maybe they could do it quicker, but at the same time, at that point, you're rushing and you're gonna make mistakes.
Yeah. So, as in the best-selling PlayStation 4 video games, because it is a PlayStation exclusive, Last of Us 2 is number 13, and Last of Us Remastered is number 6. So I mean, they're up there with the best-selling PlayStation games. So, I mean, the money is there if they want to do it, but
the remastered one, when did that come out? Because I'm thinking that's when was remastered for the PS5.
PS4. It was because they remastered that game like 3 times already.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah. The 2014 remastered one was 18 million copies sold. Last of Us Part 2 was 10 million, and that was in 2020. So,
during the middle of a pandemic,
yeah. So, I'm trying to see if there's the other one.
I was trying to see if we can see what the viewership was for 3.
Because so many people were like, I'm done, I'm over it, like Anzo was saying. And I was like really curious to see how it actually was.
And to me, it's like, what, you're done and over? Why? Because you thought they were gonna change what happened to Joel? Is that why you're done? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you played the game, you knew it was gonna happen, right? the show has been following the game since season 1, and all of a sudden, what, you were expecting them to do something different? Like, come on now.
Just change the storyline. That's all we need.
Makes no sense, man. Makes no sense.
I think it's gonna be fun. I'm excited to see the next episode. But I gotta say, HBO's putting money behind their product. It's a quality thing, and I'm happy to see that part.
100%.
Same.
100%. And to be honest with you, like, this is the second like video game TV show that is really good. Halo season 2 was fire. You know what I mean?
It was amazing. Yeah.
And then we got this too now. So I'm really looking forward to what they're gonna do with other video game adaptations, you know, because it seems like they're getting to the point where they're actually making good ones finally, you know.
Yeah.
So
I just think TV shows are better for video games.
Me too.
Yeah, it's like novel adaptations. It's the better medium.
I mean, we'll see what Amazon does with God of War.
Yeah.
Kind of curious about that because I love God of War. So
God of War is awesome.
Don't let it be bad, guys. I understand Tank will be on here.
I'll be so
You think Transformers was epic? Woo,
I'll be pissed. If it sucks, I'll be like I'll be sad. You know, it's like, man, like you just ruining such a good story. So.
What happens is you start sad, and then the more you talk, the more you realize how angry you get. How do I know?
Yeah.
It's just me. And you see me every time I talk. I start off sad and just start, and then another thing is all over.
And I think a show like this should show, you know, writers and all these people in Hollywood that, you know, you can actually make a good content out of the source material and follow the source material and make it good, right? Now, granted, I think Halo 2 is completely different from any of the games, but that was good. So it can be done both ways. You know what I mean? You don't have to sit there and be like, oh, guys, we can't make this exactly like the game. No, stick with it. You know what I mean? Get the best people to write it. And if it's a little bit different, fine, but at least stick to the content that people know. You know,
and make it a good story.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right, that's all I got, guys.
Yeah.
So, well, I want to appreciate everyone. Oh, Twisted Metal. Oh no, you know what? We were forgetting, right?
What's that?
So
Twisted Metal was good too.
The Twisted Metal show is fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Something on Amazon Prime. What did we forget?
It's a video game?
Fallout.
Oh, how did we forget about Fallout?
Yeah, Fallout was good too.
Great. Yeah,
Fallout was good too.
You know, spent money, kept fairly true to the game. You know, the aesthetics were spot on. So you know,
agreed. Yes, it was good too.
I forgot about that one.
Well, guys, we're under the 2-hour mark. Guess what? It happens. I never thought Spoiler Kings episode will go under 2 hours, but we've done it. Success. But we will see you guys on Thursday, where we're going to be talking about all these great things. I went and saw. Did you guys see the movie?
I saw The Accountant too.
The Accountant. I don't want to tell you too much about what I thought, but I feel like it was Daredevil and Punisher that we never got. I literally feel like it's a Daredevil Punisher movie that we never got. And I cannot wait to talk to you guys about it. We're going to do that on Thursday at 9:30. We'll start doing that. I cannot wait. You guys got to go see it. It is so much fun. Very much like the first Accountant, but just more violence. So,
also shout out Anzo's your Sunday. I haven't. You're watching.
Oh yeah. Well, because we are finished with the Daredevil stuff, thank God. I will be doing the watch party for The Last of Us on Sunday, so make sure to check that out. Brian was supposed to pop in, but he came late or whatever. And I was like 20 minutes late, and of course he was already in the episode. I was like, crap. Nobody messaged me to tell me what was going on, if they were coming or not. So I'm on the stream and I'm like, well, they're supposed to come. JG, I'm like, JG, you coming? But I seen his message like after, and then you messaged me after I started too. So I'm like, well, you guys should message me first, and then I would have waited a little bit longer, you know? Because it didn't even drop at 9.
I was like, I'm almost home. I'm almost home. I was like, crap.
It didn't even drop completely at 9 o'clock. I was like, wait a minute, it's 9 o'clock. So it came on about 9, maybe 9:08 or something like that. It finally dropped. And I was like,
you were literally 6 minutes into the episode when I got home.
Yeah. Oh, I did say if you would have popped on, I'd have started it over, but I guess you didn't hear me. But yeah. No, next week, though, I'll wait for you guys, though. Anybody wants
I'll definitely be there.
That's what you guys 7 our time?
8.
No.
8.
8 our time.
8. Yeah, 8. Definitely. So if you guys want to come through and watch it with us, you guys, Brian Man Tank, more than welcome. 100%.
Okay. I'll be there. So
I want to.
I know.
I like doing the watch parties. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and then you send out the link so anybody in chat you can watch it with everyone on stream, so everyone's on
the only problem I had was Cosme doesn't have Crave because I don't have HBO here, right? So we have it's Crave. So when I went and looked, I was like, hey, wait a minute.
I gotta give you my login. That's what we'll be.
I just use StreamYard. Yeah, I just use StreamYard. I said if anyone wants to pop into, because I have a StreamYard where I just showed a movie. So I'm like, if anybody wants to come in there, they could just pop in that StreamYard and watch it. So, yeah,
gotcha. All right, guys. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna be doing on Thursday. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Join me and Anzo tomorrow. We're gonna be talking about From. Is it episode 6 or 7? I can't remember. Was episode 6, 7? I have it marked on our yeah. So
schedule.
We'll do that tomorrow. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So please pop in, and then of course we'll be on Thursday. We'll be on Saturday, and I can't wait to go watch Thunderbolts. I already have my ticket for me and my girls. We're all gonna go see it and have a good time. By the time Thursday comes around, I'll tell you what I thought. So
I'm seeing it Thursday. So
see, look at that.
I get Brandman. Just take a long lunch. Take a long lunch on Thursday.
That's what I'm thinking. They soft opened that new AMC theater over here.
Right by you.
So I'm actually probably gonna get there twice this week because I wasn't able to get time to see the accountant, so I'm gonna go before Thursday.
You need an accountant to give you time to see the accountant, huh?
Yeah.
I see what I did there.
Yeah, I'm going Thursday too. Depending on the time, if I get back in time enough, I should do like a little review or something on it. We'll see. But you guys usually go live on Thursday, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
And now Anzo, I gotta go with Chill and do my announcement for the whole thing because I finally got the comic books to go along with. Let's see what we get. Static Shock. So the Static Shock one when he's getting older. And I show how it's a DC comic that they can use this older Static Shock instead of the younger one, which is Milestone. So I was gonna show him that stuff. So we were just about to get off, but what's up, Gareth, man? What's up?
What's up?
So I haven't talked to you guys in a minute. Yes, it's been a minute, man.
Gareth, I like your name, but that dude in Mortal Kombat was the worst dude to fight. Oh my Lord, I hated fighting this guy, and I'm pretty sure you probably did the cheese with him too. Yeah, it was annoying.
Oh man. But we will see you guys on Thursday. Having a lot of fun. I'll tell you, we go Accountant 2. We'll talk about the other movie. What's that?
Thunderbolts.
The Thunderbolts. Whatever. All the trailers we'll get through. I know you guys want to see those. We'll do reactions for all that and have a good time and talk about anything else that comes up. So till then, we'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We out here.